I did not. I went to college really kind of interested in the humanities and interested in political science. I thought maybe I was interested in the environment for sure, but I didn't know if I wanted to be a writer or if I wanted to do law. I was really interested in policy. So I sort of moved in the policy and social science dimension. I was taking classes and I had this really great mentor, and he said, you really should take some natural science so that you feel comfortable in what you're developing policies for. And so I started to take some plant courses and botany courses and biology and ecology, and I just kind of fell in love with it. So I moved entirely. I in the place where I studied, it was sort of a double major, but I double majored in natural science and poetry. And then after I graduated, I was really interested in working in the field as a field ecologist. I loved that sort of basis of observation, spending a lot of time observing the natural world or doing experiments in the field versus, in the lab on the bench. And I ended up traveling a lot of the world as a field biologist. I got to travel and work in tropical systems and in Arctic systems. I spent some time in Antarctica, actually. I worked in Alaska. I worked in the alpine regions of Rocky Mountains. I worked in Mexico and Costa Rica. And I did some desert work. And so I really, for 4 years after I graduated, just really got this amazing set of experiences of different ecosystems and the constituents that occupy them and make those ecosystems function. And in the end, I chose an alpine ecosystem to do my master's degree and then my PhD in. So I was really dedicated to being a field ecologist, and I could have worked for advocacy groups. I could have worked for state government, as an ecologist. But my last semester of my PhD, environmental studies here at UVM, was looking for somebody to fill in. And I had never taught a big class. I did not know environmental studies. I was really a natural scientist in ecology and evolutionary biology. And I came and I taught ENVS 1, and it just changed my life. It was a transformative moment. And I thought, this is what I really love, which is not only thinking about these ideas and challenges as a natural scientist, but really broadening and trying to think and work with colleagues from an interdisciplinary perspective. And that really was a pivot, and I started to get teaching positions in environmental studies. So the transition of the degree, the environmental studies degree and major, to the College of Arts and Sciences alone is something that's been in the works for a couple of years. And it was a decision by administrators to try to simplify the way students, incoming students, saw their options in studying the environment. And some administrators felt, and we're getting some feedback, that to have environmental studies and environmental sciences in 3 units, which creates essentially 6 different pathways for 2 majors, was too complicated. It was confusing. And so we looked at a lot of different opportunities of how to revise the approach. And in the end, the provost really decided that a Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies and a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science in Rubenstein was the best way to go. And I think that, we see there's great opportunity in that, actually, and also some growing pains, which we're going through right now. And I can imagine that first-time students coming next year are pretty confused right now, because many students were admitted to environmental studies in CALS and Rubenstein, and now they have to decide to either follow the major into the College of Arts and Sciences or stay with their unit in Rubenstein or CALS and choose a different major. So we're working really hard with those students to give them the best options and let them know what they could do, because ultimately we think that the study of the environment at UVM for undergraduates is really actually differentiating and being elevated across the campus. and that there are many ways to study the environment here, and we want to be sure that students know of all those ways and know of the interdisciplinary connections between them, and that there are faculty in all these different units who are scholars in the environment that you could take classes from, that you're not limited to your unit. And so that's been our work, especially with admitted students, but with our current students too, to say nothing's going to change for them. I would say that outside of what we offer, communities of practice has been an amazing windfall for students. What you're part of and what Richard Watts has developed with his colleagues has just really grown internship possibilities on campus, and it's great. And he's done a wonderful job of just cultivating all these opportunities for students, which is just phenomenal. I think that in environmental studies, the Capstone allows students a deeper dive, which is meant to, because it's the culminating effort for senior students. So just as they're launching into their careers or in their departure from academia, they have a network, they have work experience, they have professional skills that they wouldn't have had if they didn't do a capstone. So I have just seen so many capstone students complete those 200 hours, if not more, and then move directly into really interesting positions because of that experience. And as importantly, decide, that's the kind of work I don't want to do, and they figured that out in the context of their undergraduate degree, rather than leaving and then doing that and then maybe feeling like they had discovered it a little too late. So the capstones have just been a very, very strong part of our curriculum. And right now, probably about a third of our students finish with a capstone internship. So we have many capstone interns. I do want to just introduce an idea that's also being developed in ENVS right now, and it's for junior students. And it's a program that will start next year. And the title of it is A Fellowship in Restoration Ecology and Community Conservation. So shortening it to REC. And Sherry Morse, my colleague in geography who co-directs ENVS with me, have been awarded funds from the university and a private foundation to start this fellowship in which students, any undergraduate student who's interested in the environment and meets the prerequisites, could take 2 4-credit courses that are lab-based experiential learning, and essentially gain skills in landscape restoration and a cultural sensitivity to how community-based conservation happens. So this will be a kind of internship in that the courses are really experiential, but they will lead to those students being placed with nonprofit and environmental organizations in New England who are doing restoration work. And so our hope is that we build this cohort over the next couple of years where students take these intensive field courses with us and then are really ready to enter into either paid positions or internships in the field of landscape restoration. So just want to be sure you know about that, and that people who view this video can be in touch with me about how to apply. Again, this is for juniors at UVM who are studying the environment in any